countdown for the record for the pod?
We should be. It should already be recording. Yeah,
Okay, cool. I'll just start then. Welcome to News Game Plus. I'm doing it with Jason as well. And new segment, Pants Watch. Jason's half wearing pants.
One was short, so I just came from Bunnings.
Half
so
pants.
I was like, yeah, okay.
It's half pants.
I got my hibachi grill going. I'm proud of it. It's good.
In your pants.
It's a different thing. But I just happened to be wearing pants. I definitely didn't put them on.
You know, they should make an app from my phone, like instead of Bureau of Meteorology, and it just has you, and I can look at it. And if you're wearing pants, I know there's cold.
Yeah.
And if you're not wearing
cold,
pants,
is the problem. Yeah.
I know there's warm, so that'd be much easier than looking at the weather. All right, cool. Hey, did you know I watched a movie last night? I know we're going to do games, but I've got to do it. I reckon I watched Tenet. And clearly now,
I have to talk about
Christopher Nolan, I reckon, is easily the greatest director of all time. Tenet is incredible. Is it Shearer? Oh, Andrew. Hey, thanks, Andrew. Tenet is mind blowing. You know what? If you watched Interstellar, fantastic Christopher Nolan movie, and then if you watched Inception, another fantastic Nolan movie, and then you watched Tenet, you might stroke out. Because they're mind-blowing. Absolutely.
Definitely stroking it a bit now.
They're incredible. Have you seen Tenet?
I would not waste my energy.
It's so good. Go see, everyone go, well, I actually didn't go see it, but go see Tenet. It is stunning. He's done it again.
You're a fucking
He's the greatest director I reckon ever. Hitchcock and that are nothing. What Nolan's done, just he's just fucking with us, and it's just fantastic. He's trying to hurt my brain with Tenet. And it was fantastic.
Well, you sound like Electrix, because Electrix is the only other person I know who's so in love with Tenet. Like, saying he's going to watch it again today.
Oh, I have to. I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it again.
I'm watching Tenet again. There you go.
Well, Electrix is an incredibly good judge of movies. So, but no, it's Tenet, and Nolan is, I reckon, greatest director. Easily the best one ever. He just turned off.
Shut up. I'm stopping the stream. I'm done on that point.
That's it. Stream over. Cool. All right. Let's do some game news. Do a little segment break.
I can try and add that in. I'm not doing it.
What?
I'm not going to add music stings in.
Not fair. Hey, talking music, did you know I noticed the Gears Tactics. The music in there is kind of part Deus Ex, part Predator.
Yeah,
it's real influence there.
I mean, let's just do a quick Gears Tactics thing. I fucked up. So in first act, 4th chapter is like the one we have to go get the truck. Yeah, you get the first sniper.
Oh yeah.
So that mission.
Snipers are useless in that game so far. They haven't got better. Yeah, it's so annoying.
So it goes in and you have to have Gabe and you have to have Sid, right? And I thought it was like remember how like in the second one it was a 2-person mission, you can only take those 2? Mm-hmm. I thought it was the same again. Have you tried doing that mission with 2 people?
Which mission? Oh, no, you'll die.
You get the 4 berserkers. That's 4 berserkers alone, ignoring the wretches. So for 3 times I played it, and I was like, God damn it, this is so hard. How could this be considered fair? And then I'm like, I can actually add 2 extra people in the end. And I had 4 people and I passed it in like 10 minutes.
It does cheat a little bit though. The game's a little bit overly hard for what it should be. Because there are a few times it's a bit XCOM 2 with the random number generator at times.
I haven't been screwed as bad as I have XCOM, but I have missed a 100 shot.
It's not as bad, but yeah.
I've missed a 100 shot, and I'm like, now I'm angry. Because how did you miss a 100 shot?
Yeah. What's 100 mean?
Like, just put... Yeah. I know that 99 means 99, but also, like, it doesn't mean 100. But if it says 100, I want it to hit. Like, yeah. And so, that annoyed me.
Well, at least partially, because it does partial hits.
My biggest complaint is, so, you know when at checkpoints, right? So that mission, you get to the truck... Yeah. And then the turn after you get to the truck, or the first person goes inside the circle, it checkpoints. It needs to checkpoint before that, because it screwed me so many times on position. The enemies are coming. Which direction are they coming from?
Yeah.
If you're going to do that to me, you got to say... Yeah, it's like, you got to at least say, I hear rumbling from this way, so I know to face people that way. Because I had to, like, Saving Private Ryan, one of my mulchers, because I'd set him up, and then it's like, by the way, they're actually coming from that way. I'm like, you motherfucker.
Yeah, you just come in. Yeah, because the holes open up in 2 spots, and they're basically kind of behind you if you haven't paid attention. Because you don't realise how close the truck is, you can't move past. In XCOM, they did have the sound thing for where they were coming from.
And you see like the lines, and that's to be like, alright, so they're down that way. Whereas this, they don't have that. Suddenly it's like, by the way, here's 4 wretches. You've got one guy with a lancer, and you've got to shoot 4 times. It's like, how my action.
Well, if you don't use
passes.
your grenades properly, because you got a 5-turn cooldown, it gets less over time with
Gabe starts with the stim grenades. That's long gone because he's got the 3 healing abilities.
Yeah, they're useless.
Yeah.
I mean, the healing abilities are good. The grenades are useless.
The grenades you can res with is probably the advantage of them. So
the stim grenades, by the way.
yeah, but you can res with them.
What do you mean?
That's so. Say they Dom revive me. They're down.
Oh, you can actually do
you
that.
You can res with them.
I run.
That's the advantage of them. Yeah.
Or second win, because you might be playing hard difficulty level where it doesn't. In normal difficulty, you get second win, which each person can revive themselves once in a mission.
Oh, I don't have that.
It's for.
I'm playing on second hardest.
Yeah, I'm playing on normal, so
Right.
almost journalist mode.
Are you playing Iron Man?
No, because it was the first time I didn't know what to expect, and I'm glad I didn't, because if I play through a second time, which I will for the that other mode with the what's it called, Jags,
yeah.
Because then I will know where things come from. So when I position myself in areas, I'll know where the holes open up. And I mean, because they don't appear to be random, because I've replayed some missions sometimes.
That is one thing, because
if they're random,
XCOM, the thing people don't understand about XCOM is XCOM had done all of its calculations the turn beforehand. So you couldn't save scum it. You couldn't save.
Oh, really?
You couldn't save scum it. Because it had saved 2 turns beforehand. So the best bet was, as soon as you had cleared a wave of enemies and you say you had to move on, save then. And then replay from there.
That would explain why sometimes the RNG was so out of whack.
Yeah,
because there'd be things happen the next turn that might impact it, but it hasn't taken them into consideration.
Okay. So especially in 1, it had already worked out basically that your percentages beforehand.
Okay. Well,
that's why you always had that stutter if it was like a heap of enemies on, because I was trying to do the math before it sent it out there.
Okay, well, that makes sense.
Gears X is good though. I'm enjoying it. It's really good.
It's XCOM, isn't it though? Like the presentation, the way they start the missions, they come.
I do like the Overwatch cones. I think it's good because
I'm getting used to them.
Because the way it lets you set waypoints. So the one annoying thing with I don't think you can do it in XCOM.
No
waypoints. Waypoints.
Yeah.
And so this you can set waypoints. It's like his reaction zone is here, so I'm going to send this guy running up, down here, and then there. So that way you can shoot him from that side. Whereas in XCOM, it just it showed you the path. It was like, what? I kind of don't want you to go there. And it's like, I'm going to run it. No.
Yeah.
Can you just go a little bit around? Can you?
I bullets. I want to catch him.
Yeah. Whereas this will let you pass. It'll go waypoint 1, waypoint 2, waypoint 3. And so you can just make him go jump, and then shoot from there. Which
I'm getting used to the cones. It was just something that was different enough, because a lot of the games are similar to XCOM.
Yeah.
And the cones were just different enough to throw me out.
Yeah.
And at first it was like, no. But now I'm getting used to it, and it's sort of becoming natural to how you cross them over.
Cover your angles, yeah.
The other thing I didn't realise, you might have, but maybe I'm stupid. The Overwatch is based on your amount of shots left in the gun.
Correct.
So what I would do is I'd end a turn with like 1 shot left, and I'd do 1 Overwatch shot, and then I'd go, oh fucking hell. But then now I make sure I reload if there's
what I usually do. I use Gabe all up first, because one of the powers I've given Gabe, because he's the medic support class, is he can give everyone an extra turn. He can give people an extra turn, and if you execute, everyone gets an extra turn.
Yeah.
So I basically give my free spot to the guy in the mulcher. Go execute someone, run back, hide Gabe in cover. Everyone's now got minimum 4 turns, and then just basically set up a kill window.
And he can do global heal as well, which is cool. Now, Gore on or off? I'm going to guess you got Gore on. Okay. Now this is
you play with kids, don't you?
This is something with kids in the room. Well, they're teenagers now, so they've seen way worse shit than I can show.
And Gears is so over the top and so. It's not like there's a difference between kind of realistic gore and non-realistic gore, and I try hyper gore is a different mindset, a different thing to standard kind of you know what I mean? It's just I don't.
But still, for a parent, now you could say it's a mature themed game, but it's not really. But then you can turn adult content off. I don't know what that does, because I never tried it, because I saw adult content, went, well, I like that, but I don't like gore, so I turn gore off. But that sort of feature is actually really cool. Yeah. So if you do have kids who want to play the game and you're a parent, you can go in the options, turn gore off, turn adult content off. I don't know what that actually means, but the gore's probably the one you do.
It'll be swearing.
Okay, yeah. Well, if you do that, I mean that is really really nice addition, and all games should have it, because sometimes
Call of Duty has it. Call of Duty has
would it have impacted Last of Us too if you did that?
You needed
it because sometimes there's things you go look as. Sometimes you might want to play a game or something, and you've got kids, right? And you just go this, because you don't have them, so it's never been a consent, right? And being a bit of a psychopath, it's good fun. But so if you've got kids, even if you're playing with kids in the house, there's sort of, you got to be careful what he's on, even when they're young. So I like the idea of turn off. So games get criticised being a little bit over the top like that. Would be nice to just have that switch on every game.
Last of Us, I'm pretty sure you can play with like the things, but the thing with these, remember, like hyper gore and realistic gore are two very different conversations. Gears is hyper gore.
Yeah, but you can play golf without showing it.
Yeah,
close up.
No, I don't think you could. I think
Really?
you needed to sell it. You needed to sell because you're meant to hate her. That was the point. You're meant to say why.
Yeah, but she still played golf, right?
Yeah.
So and golf being such a shit game anyway, that would have got me fired up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, fuck the Scots. Yeah, it's fine.
So but you still play golf, but you didn't have to be. Look, okay, I don't know, but I'm just thinking. I just like the idea, and I actually wouldn't mind if in a console they had a global setting for parent to set something like that.
I'm sure you can on Xbox,
but have every game honour it.
Yeah.
So I could set the consoles.
360 used to do that. There were certain settings that would do control like inversion. So every game would then read that and go, "Are you inverted or not?" It would do gore. It would do like stuff like that.
But there are like ratings levels, right?
Yeah.
But I think they were just limiting the games you can play. But it would be cool in a game, and these days with the tech available and that, to be able to say, okay, on my child's account on my Xbox, have no swearing in a game. It just wouldn't be hard to do as a developer.
Well, you could literally, Microsoft could say, here's this interplay with our back-end technology, and it has these 5 key points that you can access, and we'll incorporate that across games, and then the game will automatically switch it. And you can just have a pop up at the start. Microsoft settings have already been enforced for this game. Go to settings.
No swears in the game. Yeah, and so basically you say, okay, I think the game's okay for the kids or to watch. Yeah. Like I said, you can be playing it, the kids are running around, running in and out of the room. Kids can watch, but there's going to be no nasty swear words. Just a little thing. I know it might sound a little bit boomer, but I think it's really a thing that could be added.
Look, again, like I said, Last of Us, I don't think you could do it because it needed to sell the kind of the mundanity of the nastiness. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain people you like literally bash to death, and you needed to see that because you needed to see the contrast of it. You know what I mean? Like, because the same thing happens later, but it's with Ellie. So you've got to see you need it to sell the point. Stuff like Gears, it's hyper gore. It doesn't matter. Andrew brings up an interesting point. The Bureau, XCOM The Bureau, was a third-person cover shooter. So
never played, but I remember it.
XCOM made a Gears game, and Gears has now made an XCOM game. So that's the world we live in. So
well, I mean, Fallout started as an XCOM game.
That's true. Yeah. Well, that was that era too. That was original era because XCOM was originally in that same era as I think it was just like the alien-y version of that same kind of engine. I think Gears was long waited for a tactics one because it's always been a really good representation of squad tactics. Yeah. Always been a really good representation of small squad-based tactics.
Yep. It was always slow.
Yeah.
It's a slow game.
But even like the way the grenades work and stuff like that works.
It's all be turn-based.
Yeah. But I'm enjoying it now that I realise that I should check if I can actually bring extra people, whether it's locked to 2 people or locked to 4.
Or watching the side missions. I don't know if you got there yet.
Just literally started them now.
Okay, in the side missions, you can only take. One person can only go on each side mission. Yeah. So, because when you go back to select your next crew members, they're in transit, so they're not available. So if you take Gabe, well, let's go with that. I can't remember the other names. To one side mission, you won't be able to use them in the other.
For the next one, yeah.
And some side missions, I got stuck because some side missions will say you have to have a certain number of heavies, for example, or you can't. Yeah. So you basically, if you just took your heavy, like I always take heavies with me in this game, right? If you're taking your 2 heavies, then you're going to have to recruit one, and then he doesn't have all the nice
skills
stuff. So just watch out for that.
So I would have always spread my recruitment's pretty spread at the moment. Like I've got because you wouldn't have got Cole as the free.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
did you?
I don't know. It just popped up.
Yeah, cool. So I've got. So
who is he? Is he a footy player or something? Or
have you not played Gears at all?
No.
We should do that one day.
I played like 5 minutes. I'm like, this is really slow.
Yeah, let's one day we'll play through Gears because all the new additions are on there.
Who is he?
He's one of the main 4 squad members. Marcus.
So he's not a real. I thought he was a real life footy player or something.
He in real life, you've got me Googling
live
stuff.
Google stream.
But he is someone in real life.
Okay, yeah. I thought he was just some because I thought it was like if you played a game and like Buddy Franklin was a choosable character or Dustin Martin.
No, not that.
Imagine if you played like Gears and one of the characters you is Dustin Martin, and his power was a fend off.
Lester Spate. He was. I'm pretty sure he was.
His name was Cole.
Yeah, but he does the full like he was a.
He's 57. He's doing better than me, and I'm only 51.
Yeah. But he played. Pretty sure he played.
He's 2 meters tall.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, he's got me by about 7 centimeters. So yeah.
He's got me by about a meter.
Yeah. No, he played real football, but that was why because he plays thrash ball in Gears.
I don't think I could get a football off
Yeah.
him.
So
I reckon
good luck.
I reckon if he was holding a football and I was trying to get it, I reckon I might lose.
Yeah.
He's a big boy.
Yeah. But yeah, so he was definitely that. So he does that like woo, like the whole like hype up play.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was a footy thing.
Well, he was, yeah.
Woke setting. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's it. Well, that comes down to it.
We have the Call of Duty discussion if you want.
Well, we always have that discussion about why is violence acceptable or sex not acceptable. It kind of goes towards that.
Yeah, very much does.
What's the Call of Duty one? Have you killed Ronald Reagan yet?
That's a spoiler. So
okay.
All I'll say is at the end of the game you get a choice, right? And the choice is US cultural hegemony or anything but US cultural hegemony. And I did not pick US cultural hegemony. And so I'm sure I'm going to watch this just for my Call of Duty ending alone.
It'd probably, it'd be like Last Starfighter.
Yeah.
They're actually
but I wouldn't.
On it.
I wouldn't want to have lived in 80s Europe in my game. Is all I'll say.
So it was like there's an episode of Simpsons where Lisa. They're leaving Earth and Lisa can only save one person and the person starts going think long and hard about this, you can only take one pair. Mum.
Yeah. And then the other ones on the plane's like those idiots. It's like wait, it's like what was it, Tom Arnold and
Rosie
O'Donnell, they're going into the sun. Yeah.
Andy Dick can go in
the sun.
Yeah.
But no,
he's got to kill buddy, what's his name? Oh no, he gave the drugs to
that's a
Hartman's wife. Bastard.
Yeah.
Is that allegedly?
No, he definitely did it. It's just, I mean, you can't really blame him for what she did. But anyway,
they all do.
They all definitely do. John Lovitz especially. You've been on, yeah. I forget that you have alt-right Twitter.
So I thought that's called Parler. I'm not on
that's true.
Parler. What is Parler? Is that Twitter or Facebook?
Tom Cruise's, isn't it?
Is it?
Not Tom Cruise, it's Ted Cruz.
I was going to say Ted Cruz. Oh,
yeah,
I don't mind Ted Cruz. Okay, maybe it's just a relative and it's out of that bunch.
Yeah, that's how bad it is. Ted Cruz is fucked.
Well, when they did the Senate things, questioning Zuckerberg, he was the only one that had ever actually used the internet.
Because he wanted to make Parler. He was making the point that he knew that, therefore.
Is that his?
Yeah, Parler's owned by him.
Because it's Parler, Gab.
Yeah.
I had a Gab account, I never use it.
Parler's owned by him. So.
Okay, there you go.
But yeah, Call of Duty lets you be non-binary, so you can go and.
Have you seen the rumour that 8chan's IP addresses are DoD ones?
I mean, would you be surprised?
Just a.
Would you be surprised?
Yeah, just a rumour.
Look, I literally just played.
Just
played a game where the main character is a victim of MK Ultra. Would I be surprised if 8chan's a DoD project?
It only became that way relatively recently.
Again, absolutely not surprised.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go. And its owner got summoned to speak to the one of the Senate committees.
Yeah. And
then that sort of went away. So anyway, I'm just tinfoil hatting. Anyway, what was I doing? Gaming news. Oh yeah, so yeah, Call of Duty.
I'll say black helicopters are expensive to fly to the Philippines.
Now I watched. You know how I love my conspiracy videos. I was watching some old Phil Snyder stuff because I love Phil Snyder. Phil Snyder, he's the king. If you're talking I've always said conspiracy theories now are boring, right? Because you're like, oh, the president's corrupt, he's stealing, and you go, well, that's not really a conspiracy theory. That's
just true. Yeah.
But yeah, the old Phil Snyder stuff was great. But then all the stuff he said was going to happen hasn't happened, and it's made me very sad because I mean I know UFOs been sort of revealed now, although. There are a few people on, I suppose, left Twitter who are arguing that the reason we're seeing UFO stuff now is to get the public on board with Space Force. So
maybe
it's an interesting theory.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think like a lot of these are like kind of boiling the frog. Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of these suddenly we can justify having things in space because we may have
we spent $680 billion on it.
It's a little bit Cold War now, so
it's really a Cold War against China. But anyway,
that's what I mean. It's like Cold War 2.0. Like
Let's do some game stuff. We already did some.
Literally 20 minutes. Well,
Okay.
we covered Gears Tactics. I don't
Gears
feel
Tactics is good, worth playing, and it's on Game Pass. So you got if you've got Game Pass, you got an excuse. If you don't have Game Pass, seriously, why not? It's $15.
For sure.
It's $15. You get to play. If you finish Gears Tactics in a month, it only costs you $15.
And if you haven't signed up to it yet, you can now buy 12 month Xbox Live cards again. So I reckon the plans they had for converting live into
I like Nick stuff, but you keep going.
They pushed it back. Okay. Do you get it?
What?
That's a Stargate joke.
Oh, is it? I never watched Stargate. Oh, Nick. I was on board with that because
NORAD is Cheyenne
Mount Weather and that. No, I look. One of the reasons I actually got into computer programming was war games.
You haven't seen Stargate?
No, I never.
You would like Stargate.
Never really got into it,
especially if you it is tough. The first season or two is a slog. About season 5, it really gets good. Like 3's good, 4's great, 5 is peak, 6 is fine, 7's. And then it goes to like 10. It's one of those things where people say, give it a first few episodes. Nah, you gotta give it a few seasons. So I can definitely understand why you get.
I gave Star Trek Discovery a few episodes, and I'm still bored as hell.
Just watching all of it.
Like, can Star Wars people stop making Star Trek?
Yeah.
That's seriously just if you like Star Wars, stay the fuck away from Star Trek.
Yeah, agree.
Just don't make a Star Trek show or movie. Anyway, Expanse is coming in a week. The season 5 Expanse, and Expanse I am in love with, and I feel like watching them all again over the next week before season 5 comes.
I still watched it. Is it on
You're Amos. You might as well be Amos. When you watch Expanse, you'll know what I mean there. Jason is Amos.
We've probably got sci-fi people in the chat. I don't know.
Yeah, if anyone's in chat, but I didn't know that Cheyenne Mountain reference, but I thought it was like
Cheyenne Mountain is where the Stargate is held.
There you go. Well, that probably have too.
Because even South Park made that good. We watched an old South Park again, and they did the Return Back in Time Terminator joke to stop the Trapper Keeper from becoming Akira and taking over the Cheyenne Mountain complex. Because that's when it taps into the NORAD computers and takes over the world, basically.
South?
But that's similar to Terminator. Skynet goes through Cheyenne Mountain. So yeah.
Anyway. Video games, remember
that?
Let's do that. Play Gears Tactics and bloody get Game Pass if you don't have it. Microsoft has purchased Smash.gg.
Yes.
Which is the site that I leech off for my stuff on Couch Warriors and some other stuff that I've got to finish one day. But basically, I make heavy use of the Smash.gg API. I've spoken with them in the past and told them what I'm doing. They're really excited to see if I ever finish it. But Smash.gg is good for it, and it's basically... Does it do all sports or just fighting games? I think it's set up for fighting games.
It's set up for fighting games, but you could use it for anything. There's no reason you couldn't put your own personal
Smash.gg. It's an excellent site. Microsoft have purchased it, and hopefully, I said before, hopefully they don't fuck the API up because all my code has to be rewritten, and I'm kind of getting sick of big US tech companies changing all their APIs on here. It's like, I've got other work to do, guys. Stop changing
I don't want to keep debugging Instagram.
And I can't go online and get help because the meme is, you just go on Stack Overflow. No, because Stack Overflow is full of idiots that don't know what they're talking about. Anybody who
just run this script. Okay.
Oh my god! But they've got. They'll take one answer, right?
Yeah.
And it's wrong. They've never tested it. And they'll all repeat it. If anybody who thinks Stack Overflow is a good programming resource is in the shallow end. Let's just put it that way. It's really frustrating. I know some programmers go, Stack Overflow is good. Shallow end of the pool, guys.
To talk about the actual news.
Sorry. I'm whinging.
I think it's a good purchase because what they could do is they could very easily incorporate Smash.gg tournaments into Xbox. So let's say for this generation they want to push hard into esports and that kind of thing. If you have a built-in plugin for Smash.gg on Xboxes, do you know what I mean? Like,
imagine if you had a website with built-in thing that showed the live things when they were on. The bastards are going to copy my stuff. Not that they're copying my stuff. They're going to do the same thing, I reckon. It's going to be everywhere.
Yeah, that's all right. So I did it first. Look at the dates.
Won't matter shit. But anyway, the boys Smash.gg, they haven't announced anything more about that I know. They've just said how happy they are, and I'm sure Smash.gg, the owners of that, they are very happy as well with the billions of dollars or whatever they made.
I would have been. I don't think they would have gone in the billions. I reckon the main thing with Smash.gg is no physical events, so nothing that they could tie onto, nothing that they could pay for sponsorship to be the official thing of, all that kind of stuff for 8 months. So for them, there was talks that they were going to fold. There was real rumours they were going to pack in, and they didn't have enough capital to do it. Then suddenly they said, no, don't worry about it. We'll definitely blah, blah. And then lo and behold, it was Microsoft. And I think it's a good purchase. I think for the value for money, if they paid couple $100 million for it, I still think it'll pay for itself very soon. And being able to integrate a well-known tournament solution and get back some of the ground because you used to only buy fighters on the 360. The pads were easy, everything was easy. It wasn't a fuck around like it was on Xbox. Unless you wanted some specific rare Japanese fighter, you did it. PS4 era, PS4 became the fighter console. It was
all the Catch Warriors stuff was all PS4.
You can see them, like, there's a stack of them there. There's 3 or 4 over there. It's...
Okay, May is Simon. But anyway, there's someone in the chat. But yeah.
Are you call May?
I call them memes.
Yeah, it's memes. Isn't it technically like
I think it's technically melee. But yeah, we've got distracted.
That's Dawkins, isn't
it's like cats.
Look,
a lot.
But my moral story is, I think it's a good purchase for them. I hope that it goes well for them. Yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think it's it's only going to... Where's that chat thing's going?
Yeah,
it's only going to get bigger because, as we've spoken before about in this podcast, traditional sports is not capturing all the young kids, and esports are all different kinds. And you look to get Smash GG is a really good platform. So for Microsoft to jump on with that, I think it'll be good for both of them. I think good on them.
Agreed.
Okay, let's go some controversy. Can I get a sound? Anyway,
today... I got a soundboard on us, yeah. God out. Here's my
okay. Twitter's full of dickheads. Here we go. Well, it's not really Twitter, but this is Chinese players are apparently review bombing the Monster Hunter World game on Steam. Was it on Steam? Because of what they believe is an offensive joke in the Monster Hunter movie. I don't know how they picked that out because the whole thing looks pretty offensive to me. But it's
it does offend one's sensibilities. The joke is he turns around to the Asian member of the crew and he goes, because it says, he says something about like it's sitting on his knees or something. He goes, what knees? He goes, Chinese. He's like, and so it's a shit joke.
I watched the video. It's a shit joke.
It's a shit joke. It's not funny, but like I'm not convinced.
Probably suits the movie. It's probably in the tone of the
movie. I think that's what it was going for. But I think the response, as always, has been particularly glass-jawed from the CCP and the trolls. So,
they're attacking it because they're associating it with, and don't get offended if I'm saying, I'm only repeating this, with the old Chinese, Japanese, dirty knees, look at these saying, which is apparently viewed by people.
It's used as like it was used as like a prostitution thing. Like,
was it?
It's the kind of me love you long time, but like for that, and that's like
that's been in movies. I've seen
for sure. But again, usually they're making a point with it. I guess is the argument. But I think like yes, it's a very boomer thing. Like I don't think I've ever heard anyone under the age, my age, I would say, who's used it. Last time I remember someone using it was in primary schools in grade 5.
I've heard variations of it from school,
But you went to school in, 1946 or something, wasn't it? Like, just after the war. So.
Might as well have been. We used to ride a dinosaur to work.
Yeah,
pretty much. I remember when Dad used to go to the quarry. So, that were the days.
Bam, the lady. And it's just you. I'm getting Luke to make that.
I tell you what,
Luke, if you're watching,
there's no Gamergate or anything back then. You used to be able to hit women with clubs and just take them home. It was good times.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
But so other than my my history in what was the town called? Bedrock.
Yeah. Look, I think don't get me wrong. It's a dumb joke. I think that it's a very big reaction to something that isn't really played by the Kaiser.
Kaisers.
That's it. I think that there's definitely a case to be made of, come on guys, like that's a bit shit. Like I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Twitter controversy on it. Fine. Like
there's about everything. We were talking about this after the show last week, right? If there's a Twitter controversy, you know what you do? You just ignore it because you're dickheads. Hey, look, the dickheads are playing up again, and then but companies feel upset. Oh no, we're gonna make changes. No, just wait because in 2 days that'll be forgotten.
Yeah, the only people who remember it are the same Twitter people.
And they'll keep bringing it up for like 10 years, but it's only like 10.
So like I say, I think that's look. That's not what I meant to do. I'm sorry if people are offended. You can get off the hook on that, right? But to go and review bomb the game, Capcom's had to release statements into Weibo and stuff like that. Tencent funded the movie,
you
and
would've
so
thought they'd
Tencent's like
keep an eye on it.
Yeah, so Tencent's censoring all the posts that are complaining about it. The movie got pulled in China. Again,
it's going to be re-released without that line.
It is a timing thing. I think if more than anything else, it's a timing thing. You know, we're in a spat with them. Scott Morrison's in a spat with him because he runs his mouth. He thinks he's bigger than he is. Like, as much as I love our ADF, we ain't got much of a chance against the Chinese.
No, as Friendly Geordie said, it'd be like Independence Day.
Yeah. We'll just have Seffi in like a little barn plane going straight up the guts of it. Yeah.
I can see Seffi doing that.
Yeah,
I'm back!
So you know, it's. I think more than anything, it's a timing thing. It's more of a thing of they've had a lot of success pointing out the hypocrisy of Western governments. It's like, well, you want to talk about the Uyghurs? It's like you guys blow up Afghanistan and Iraq. So it's like, so nice of you to say that, but you're a hypocrite.
But it's a changing world order. We're getting off games. It's a changing world order where.
But that, yeah, and
they're,
so I
they're
think
stamping their authority basically.
And that I think this is way more about them stamping their authority, their cultural authority, than it is about any actual offence. Cantonese people take offence, like Hong Kong people take offence. I can half understand it, but I think it's a stretch. I think it's somewhat confected. Like, you know, and I'm not saying that they don't have the right to be, well, that's a fucking shit. It was a shit joke. It was absolutely a shit joke.
Oh, watch it. This is dumb.
Yeah.
It's
it's borderline baiting. You had to fucking know. Like, someone had to look at the script
they
and
were
go,
trying to be like,
you
know the helicopter flight in Predator when they're on their way in and they're telling the jokes between each other there?
Yeah.
They were trying, I reckon, I haven't seen the movie, but it smelled like that. So they tried to, but the thing is, they weren't as good as the guys that were in Predator.
Correct, yeah.
And the jokes in Predator now, you'd say they're pretty off colour.
And even for its era, Predator was making fun of the meathead CIA agent.
Yeah, but people never get that. But,
no one ever does.
But in this one, it just, when I saw I just saw the brief clip of that. It smelled like that, and I thought, it just didn't work.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be the worst thing in the movie.
No.
No. But you know what it's done? It's made a lot of news articles about it, a lot of publicity about it.
Okay. I said this to a lot of people. It's like, maybe the movie is relying on Chinese success. Capcom is not relying on Chinese success. They're popular enough in America. They're popular enough in the Western world and in Asian countries. Monster Hunter's huge in Philippines and a lot of these other Asian countries. So they don't really need the mainland $100. So for them, it's less. It's more like I doubt there's going to be much actual loss in profits just based on Capcom games get banned in China. Well, how many were they selling? Like,
yeah, if I was being cynical though, there's a fight with the Chinese over this help it in the West. I'm not in that crowd. It helps them in Japan.
There'd be a rally around that because the Japanese like that. They like a good rally. But yeah, Andrew said, we'll miss the walk because everyone's watching the cricket. I can imagine that as well.
Unless the people come from the Planet Cricket, like you know from a Douglas Adams book. Gonna guess Andrew Owens read that, where the people from Planet Cricket came and attacked us by hitting bombs at us with bats. Andrew's going to know what I'm talking about. I don't think.
For what it's worth, if it's a zombie apocalypse, don't take a baseball bat, take a cricket bat. It disperses the pressure of your swings better, so it puts more damage into the same level of power of a swing. So use a cricket bat, not a baseball bat.
A lot of people in movies get like shotguns and that. They're just noisy. You make sure you're quiet. Anyway,
someone else has read Max Brooks' books.
No,
that's a World War Z thing.
Look, I watched the movie, and you know the movie is not good, but it's good. Yeah, because I read after I watch a movie, I go back and I read. You see, you did know. After I watch a movie, I go back and read a little bit about it because sometimes I'm curious. And World War Z, I read what the original story was, and it was one of those ones where they butchered it so bad. It's not funny. Because
I didn't hate the World War Z movie, but I've read Zombie Survival Guide, WWZ. I'd read them all already.
Yeah, the movie was good, but compared to what it could have been,
exactly.
You know what it would have been good, and I hope they do it. It would have been great as a 10-part Netflix series. It just that would just be able to because some things can't be done in 2 hours.
Yeah,
but something from what I read of the scope of World War Z could really be done well on Netflix.
Well, I mean, I'd say Last of Us 2. If they copy the story of Last of Us and Last of Us 2, that's 2 seasons of HBO because both of them are written like HBO.
Are they going to copy it, or what are they going to do with it?
Well, I mean, they have to have 20% new content.
Like, do you see Druckmann's now president? Or
which was always going to happen. He makes a lot of money.
Yeah,
he won the fight with Hennig. Hennig's out, and there was no reason for her to leave outside if someone forced her out.
Take that, sexism.
Yeah.
So, yes, he's
we won.
Yeah, no, that's a victory over sexism by Druckmann there. Anyway, what are we looking at? Let's get in that game news before anyone starts what I just said. Okay, Sonic 2 begins filming in March. My birthday's in March. It's the best birthday present ever. Thank you very much, universe. You're gonna make if Sonic 2 comes out next year, it's automatically already better than 2020. I know it's going to be difficult to beat this year for quality because how good it was. But Sonic's going to start shooting in March next year. I can't wait. Apparently, the code name of the filming is Emerald Hill, which is stage 1 of Sonic 2, which means I'm gonna call it now, and it's not a really surprise. Tails is going to be in this one. He was in the post credits thing in the last one, and number 3 is going to have Knuckles. And you know what? Being done, Sega's involved. Number 3 will never come out. so Sonic 2 will be the end of it. But I can't wait.
Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Like, I mean, Sega obviously still making enough money through their other, because they sold off all their arcade stuff. So they must be making enough money through games and licensing. I'm sure the movie made them a couple $100 million.
The movie made 300 and something million. There was a thing. There was a little disagreement. Again, the Twitter idiots. Yeah. There was a bit of a discussion. Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey was the highest grossing comic movie last year.
Yeah.
And it got 200 and something million. And there was a bit of a debate. Oh, well, Sonic's been in comics.
Yeah, right.
Was it a superhero movie? Well, Sonic's been a superhero.
Yeah.
A little bit of that. Yeah, I enjoyed those shenanigans, but it made 300.
The Sonic comics are actually not awful. I don't know. Like,
you gotta watch the Sonic Boom.
But...
Sonic Boom cartoon is A grade. It really is.
Even the old 90s cartoon was alright. That's where the chili dog thing came from.
Oh, really?
They took that from the show and incorporated it back into his persona.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, they took that into the game.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Anyway, so Sonic 2 begins filming in March. How long between filming? We probably won't see till Christmas or thereabouts. Unless the world dies again.
I mean, if they can get it out for Christmas, it'll be a good Christmas movie. But at the moment, with the delays on movies and stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if you wouldn't see it until 2022. You know what I mean? Like,
don't make me cry. It's going to be filmed. Which means
Actually, no, you know what it'll be? It'll be March 2022. May 2022. Summer movie. American Summer.
While it's being filmed, there'll be news about it, and that's a good bit, and that means that I can talk every week while it's being filmed. Sonic.
That's enough.
Okay, where we at? Sonic. Super Mario Maker 1. Well, not that it does much online, but the online stuff's being shut down, which is share your levels.
Yeah, so get all your levels and stuff back now. Yeah.
In March, it's not till March. March is a long time away.
But you can't. So they've shut down the Wii U shop. So you can't buy stuff. There's certain things you can't do anymore. So it's weird because obviously there's Mario Maker on Switch as well.
Why don't they use the same servers that in Mario Maker 2? Surely it's just a flag on it, whether it's a 1 or 2 level. I don't understand.
Okay. You don't understand it because you don't think like Nintendo. And this is what Nintendo do.
I've seen the internet.
Yeah. You have, like, again, Nintendo are the kings of 95% perfect. So everything that, like, this is great, I'm really enjoying this as well, and then it'll have some weird quirk in the design process. You're like, why did you do that? Like, why do you make it difficult?
Go to the same server and it's just flagged, whether it's Mario Maker 1 or 2 or 3.
Keep in mind, they've only just updated a lot of it. I mean, they never really had an online service or anything like that. You know what I mean? So they're new to this world, But like, yeah.
Oh, there's only going to be 3 people using it anyway, so it won't matter. But yeah, if you're using Super Mario Maker 1 on your Wii U, you won't be uploading and sharing levels as of March. I don't think it'll matter. Okay, 2 things are back. We've got back. Anyway, so you're enjoying this, aren't you? So, first one, finally, now, Hwang is back in Soul Calibur 6, and I'm not a fan of Soul Calibur. Do you know why I don't like Soul Calibur 6? Because it doesn't say the soul still burns at the end. I took a gap from Soul Calibur for years, and it does these little, it's best to play and be nice to each other. And you go, that's not the same as my soul still burns. But I used to love playing as Hwang.
My favorite, he was a pirate, wasn't he? One with like the colours.
He had a colour. I don't think he was pirates, but he had colours. A lot of his moves were very similar to Sung Mina's.
He was like an Asian pirate. He wasn't Cervantes. He was
he was Asian. But I used to play him all the time on the Dreamcast one after work. My friends used to call me the Hwang King. As good joke, guys. But I love Hwang. He's back in Soul Calibur 6. I'm wrapped. I'm going to play the game again.
Cool. Because my favorite part of 2 was always like, Raphael versus whoever, and then you had like the 4 buttons, and all of them said something different. And you just be like, right as about to go, too slow! Or like something like, you just like yell something at him. But you could do so that was the best part, just time it for the best comedic effect.
Did it say soul still burns at the end? Because I
does it in the intro movie. They all still do it in the intro movie. It's sort of a tailored.
Nah, after the fight. Nah, when you get wrecked and it goes Soul Still Burns. I don't know, because I played it a lot on the Dreamcast.
Soul Calibur, Soul Blade.
Soul Calibur.
Right, yeah.
Soul Blade was PlayStation.
I was. You're right.
Played that on stream with Oz for an Old Game Plus stream. But I used to play it heaps on Dreamcast, and actually for a little while, a friend of mine, Darren, wanted to learn how to play Killick, and so I lent him a
Killick's
Dreamcast.
cheap.
He is, because a little prick beat me, and one night he beat me like 200 in a row. It was just so fucking annoying.
Poker, poker.
He poked me in the foot. He poked me in the foot, and my guy jumped around and he's hit me, and it threw the joystick away. Like it was
You've got to learn to block low, bro.
Blocking's for Twitter, not for fighting games.
For Twitter, not fighting games. Scrub quote of the year.
Blocking's for Twitter, not fighting games. So anyway, so Huang's back in Soul Calibur 6. Soul Calibur 6, I've played a little bit because on Game Pass. It looks pretty good. I'm excited to finally have a character I know the moves of.
Nice.
have
Look,
a
I still enjoy a bit of Soul Calibur. The problem with it is, like, what I get out of Soul Calibur, I usually get out of DOA, and Soul Calibur is one of those, because of the nature of vertical hit, horizontal hit, kick, is basically your buttons. Like, you know, it doesn't really deviate from that too much. Right? Yeah, okay. So to me, people spend a lot more time on it than I do. It's still a fun game. They've added meter and stuff now, so they've added like super moves and things, which can get a bit lame, because that was always the beautiful thing about the old one, was it was very straightforward. But then they added super moves to Dead or Alive, and I hate that too. So I don't know, can't win. But
I haven't played Dead or Alive since the Dreamcast, when you used to be able to set the age slider. Anyone that's played it knows what I'm talking about.
Boomer.
You never get away with that now.
And right, well, I mean, he got fired from the company that he basically started because of
really?
that.
Because of that? Oh, okay.
Itagaki was a creep anyway. He's had a bunch of sexual harassment cases.
Imagine if they released that now. If it came
they
with
just
an age.
wouldn't. You just wouldn't risk it. Like, yeah.
Oh, you'd get attention.
And the wrong kind, because it was dumb. It was like what's the point of this?
Imagine Resetera.
But yeah, no, he
should do it just to wind him up.
The last game he did was Devil's Third, which was Valkyrie Studios, which is the one that he worked at, and then anyway.
Okay, another back. I thought this was a weird one because I didn't even know anything about it. Kadabra Pokemon is back. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, about, what's his name?
Uri Geller.
Uri Geller.
Now I'm old enough to know who Uri Geller was, right? Uri Geller used to appear on all the late night TV shows, and it was interesting that Kadabra apparently.
Let's see if we can.
Yeah, okay. Now, this is the bit I thought was weird, because, like I said, I'm old enough to remember. This is James. Anyone that saw when James Randi died recently?
That's a rip. He was great.
He was actually, him and Uri Geller were like, you know, they didn't like each other for a reason, right? But see, because James Randi would expose. We went through a stage.
It was like a Houdini thing where it was like, if any ghost can come back and think I've got $1 million fund waiting for you.
If you could do anything supernatural, he had $1 million.
And James Randi took that on and did the same thing.
And he used to go into. He used to go on late night TV shows and expose people who would. Because we went through a stage, especially with late night, Johnny Carson talk shows. That did in Australia as well, where people would go on and pretend to be psychics, and we had this idea they had this Far Eastern knowledge. It used to be always fun, and they'd be able
Oriental
to do
knowledge.
and it probably there's underlying things there going on, but went through a stage of that, and that's where James Randi started to pop up and debunking them all and saying, well, this is all crap, right? Now, Uri Geller was one of those, and he'd go on the show and he'd bend spoons, and he claimed he was a psychic, and he claimed he was able to just bend a spoon with the power of his mind. But what I found interesting was the Kadabra Pokemon was a magician, and now he's claiming that he was always a magician, not a psychic, because that seems to have been scrubbed from the record.
But this was ages ago. So yeah, this
20
was
years ago when
first gen Pokemon cards, and it was you're stealing my life, and it got upheld in a US court, and so
US courts.
And so Nintendo just said, cool, no more Kadabra cards, and like because it was the easiest way around the problem. Instead of having to pay royalties to him for use of his image, it was thing. You got to remember that spoon bending was such a cult like. It's still a cultural meme now. Like, The Matrix had it. And granted, The Matrix was 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, sure was.
A retro movie.
Yeah. That's where, like, the little kids, like, the spoon doesn't, it doesn't...
Yeah, Reeves looks the same age.
Look, I don't think he does, but I think that we've forgotten what it looks like when people age. Like, let's go find a photo of you as Bam Bam. Photo of you as Bam Bam, and then photo of you now. Like,
Yeah, it's Bam Bam.
Yeah.
At least I'm not Pebbles. That's nice. I could be Pebbles. I mean, hey, it's
2020.
Well, yeah. Hey, like Elliot. What's her name?
Elliot Page. You're right.
Yeah, Elliot Page. Yeah. Juno's a really interesting movie. Now.
Yeah. Make your joke. Get out of the way. We're gonna just get us into trouble.
Clip, onto Twitter.
But yeah, no, like, it's interesting because he suddenly had this change of heart. And he did a heartfelt apology on Twitter and stuff. He's like, I'm really sorry that I did this to the gamers.
Is he getting any money now?
My thing is more, I think he realizes that his social relevance is gone, and that there's a chance for him to channel some kind of.
He'll be famous again.
Yeah. I genuinely think that's more what it is. I think it's a fact of it's been culturally so long that he's finally fallen off the zeitgeist. No one knows about bending spoons. It's like the modern joke is we've got better phone cameras than we've ever had, and yet no one seems to be recording Bigfoots or UFOs or you know what I mean? Like,
well, the UFOs I reckon are real now. There was a clear photo the other day come out.
Did there?
The one that came out of the water, an actual clear photo from a phone camera. But it is true. It is true. We used to have all these blurry photos. We did go through that stage in like the 70s and maybe early 80s, and I remember I was
early
young
90s.
at the time.
I remember X-Files. Like,
yes, X-Files.
I'm old.
But there was this stage where the supernatural became a big thing. Like, it was massive. And there was just people everywhere claiming they'd seen things or been abducted. And the anal probe meme comes from that time when you'd have all these redneck farmers who reckon aliens kidnapped them and anal probed them.
It was, but wasn't that a whole thing? Like, there was like his name was Dale something, and they interviewed him and his wife, and it was about them being repeatedly abducted for like 11 years or something like that, and repeatedly probed and anal probed, and that's where it kind of came from.
Wouldn't you lock the doors at some point? Anyway,
just put a mosquito net up. It's fuck, aliens just caught in a mosquito net.
If they see a spider.
Yeah. That's why they don't come to Australia. Yeah. I mean, we have. So I used to work with a woman, right? Who do you remember the one in like the local school? It was like I want to say like Mentone or Mitcham or something like that. And they reckon that a ship landed in the Oval. No, it wasn't.
No, I don't know this.
It was Springvale or something. Vic.
There's a lot of druggies at Springvale.
Victorian
I don't mean to be judgy,
UFO story 70s.
Remember that guy that disappeared in his plane? Were you googling that?
Westall. It happened in Westall. So like
what the fuck's Westall?
1966. Clayton.
You're making places
1966. At around 11 a.m. for about 20 minutes, more than 200 students and teachers at two Victorian state schools allegedly witnessed an unexplained flying object which descended into a nearby open grass field. It was adjacent to a grove of pine trees in the area.
I've never heard of this.
According to reports, the object then descended in a northwesterly direction over the suburb of Clayton South. I used to work with a woman who was there, and she was a pretty even keel sort. Hey, like she was pretty even keel, and even she said her and her brother, because her brother was in the class, was out in the yard when it happened, and she was in one of the classrooms, and they all scurried over and had a look. He wouldn't talk about it because he'd obviously been so ridiculed about it over his years, blah blah. But like, I have no reason to believe there couldn't be. I mean. It's not, like, I like, UFOs don't have to be alien. They can just be, like,
from the future.
You're
in Tenet.
Spoilers,
That's not really a spoiler.
You're a young kid. You see, like, SR-72s or whatever the spy planes were and stuff. To them, they would look alien to you, especially from the side. You know what I mean? Like,
you're a young kid. You're not an Aztec or something. Like, you still see
sure,
planes.
but
helicopters.
Let's say you're used to seeing planes. You're used to seeing like DC-10s and like Spitfires and stuff, and then you started to see jet engines come in. So you've got this design.
Yeah, but it's not a massive leap. I know where you're going.
Yeah.
I know where you're going, but it's not a fundamental leap to go from a triangle-shaped thing to another triangle-shaped thing with a different engine. I understand what you're saying. Yes, it's something to a kid is more difficult to process.
Yes.
Therefore, it gets. You put
it gets
that
caught in
into
the bubble. What
you understand, and so you're trying to understand
frame of reference.
So it becomes it's a UFO which literally is.
It is, but and that's what I'm saying. So there's no reason to say that it's not a UFO, but I mean, like, there are it is interesting to see how I would say since 9/11, South Park made the joke in Imagination Land is that the terrorists killed our imagination, and they really did because. All of our supernatural stories suck now. Like, I mean, no one does good
all that conspiracy suck.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate the conspiracies now.
Yeah.
The president's stealing stuff.
Yeah. They stole the election of Trump is a conspiracy theory now. It's like,
and he's all corrupt and that, and he's dealing, and you go, wow, that's not a very imaginative conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Again, it's mundane.
It's just boring.
Yeah. And so I think that's it. I would say that the shift, at least for me, came in around 9/11 because I was 17, 16 at the time when it happened. So like,
fair enough.
So I've
been watching that live on TV.
I was awake.
Man, my wife was sitting there watching TV, and they said, "Oh, breaking news! This happened." We're going, "Oh, yeah, this thing was a little bizz," and then we watched it. and went, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, well, that's bad. Yeah. Yeah. Look, I don't know, mate.
How could George Bush do that?
Yeah. Talk about conspiracy theories. Yeah, no, look, I don't know. I like, you really want to go down that thing. I don't think it happens in an Al Gore run America, but that's just me. And that's not because I think George Bush did it.
Coincidence?
And not just because I think George Bush did it, it's just because I think
because it was his friends.
there's only... The only president I know of who's real good friends with the Iranians, so much so that he sold them missiles in order to get weapons, was George H.W. Bush. And his dad was a Nazi collaborator. Enough about video games. Ronald Reagan. No, it's fine. But yeah, so...
I'm going to say it again. And this is what I think about Deus Ex last week, right? And this is... And also with Beyond Good and Evil coming up soon. I hope they reckon. There is a market there for this stuff. And I reckon the environment is as ripe as it was when X-Files came along. You mentioned that earlier, right?
Well, I think there was a reason there was another X-Files thing 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
It's ready. We are ready. I think the public, whether they believe in stolen elections or Russian hackers, the public is ready in the right mind frame for conspiracy theory games.
I think the X-Files thing came 2 years too early. If it had happened in 2017, 2018, not right as Trump come in, the fodder. Tunguska could be a fucking... Like, the reason Trump's hair is falling out is because of Tunguska. Done. Do you know what I mean? Like...
People were trying to tell me the other day he's wearing a nappy.
I mean, pretty sure he is. Like, yeah.
Well, they're all like 80. So, yeah.
Have you seen the interview with the guy who used to work on the Apprentice?
Yeah, that's what I watched.
Yeah. Like, he's okay. I'll put
we got our
this.
games again.
He is not saying allegedly. That's the big thing I noticed. Not once did he say allegedly the whole time.
I find it hard. I think there's been enough books and enough people hate his guts that would have come out somewhere else. That'd be my only thing.
But they didn't. People
said the same thing about Hillary. They said the same thing about Biden. I reckon it's just one of those common like trope that comes up. But in saying that, I wouldn't completely dismiss it.
Yeah.
Just wouldn't. No, actually, nothing I would completely dismiss right now. Let's put it that way. So, but the environment.
Well, again, we've still got a month left before anything has to happen. So it's gonna be interesting.
Killed another general the other day.
Did
you know that? Oh, I'll send you a link later. They did.
Wow.
Yeah,
wait, another Iran.
Yeah. So always someone high up in the or maybe they're about to do it.
Okay, it's now conspiracy game plus on. Yeah.
No, I just reckon
fake news game plus.
I just reckon Deus Ex and Beyond Good and Evil, the original concept of Beyond Good and Evil, because I'm worried about what the sequel's going to look like. The environment, I reckon, is ripe now for that.
Agree.
It is just you've got stuff you can link it to pop culture, and I just think there's so much to work with. A clever video game writer can make a package.
That's what gets to me about Call of Duty Cold War. Is it had the chance to actually have that little bit of self-awareness about it, and it kind of doesn't. Like
the Pentagon have self-awareness. They literally do help make the game, right?
So I remember when
that's not a conspiracy.
One of the Modern Warfares, not Modern Warfare. So one of the Medal of Honors, specifically, it used to link you to. If you clicked on the site, it would link you to the actual gun manufacturer. So if you clicked the Beretta 92 FS, it would go to the Beretta 92.
So you can buy one. It's so American.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Don Lane, okay. Actually, he just said, it would just pop up, James Randi and Don Lane. Yeah, that was good, because Don Lane believed all those crackpots. Don't get offended if we call them crackpots, but it would appear they were. Because you go back and look at this stuff now, some of the chats are disappearing and reappearing, but anyway, if you go back and look at that stuff, and that's what I did with the Phil Schneider one, a lot of the things they keep saying are going to happen haven't happened, and it kind of makes me sad because I wanted it to happen because it's exciting, but I think there's also an element of the conspiracy theory where there's a bit of it makes up for other holes in people's lives.
Well, it's also the argument of like, when people predict rumors, put rumors up and stuff like that, is like you really do have to have a demonstrably proven track record of leaking stuff, because if you don't, it can be scattergun. Nostradamus says 50 things. He says his stuff, and so suddenly he's remembered
interpretation. The Bible's the same. You look at QAnon. QAnon said 60,000 people are going to be arrested. Big Dickanon, BDAnon, which is the replacement of QAnon. That normies love QAnon, so there's a new one, obviously. He said the Chinese dam was going to fall down a couple of weeks ago. Any day, he kept saying he's going to. So you get these people come on, they always say things, and if one gets something right, they're suddenly a prophet. But generally, they get them all wrong. But they're entertaining.
Like I was just saying, but when we had the UFOs announced, and it was just like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, look, I'd be waiting all my life for that. So look, and did you see the story? Did you see the story of the Chinese cosmonaut? What do they call him? Chinese? No, cosmonauts, Russian. Oh yeah, the Chinese astronaut dude, right? In 2003, reckons when he was in the spaceship, he reckons he heard a knocking on the side of the spaceship that sounded like a hammer knocking on the thing, and he looked out the portal, couldn't see anything, and apparently that's been corroborated by other Chinese astronauts since, who've all said they've heard knocking on the outside of the spaceship.
Imagine
that one where you
and
you pull the blanket
I'm just seeing the kids, and they're in their like space Commodore, like fucking get back here, fucking go. They're just like plant it and drive off back into space.
Kids,
yeah, all the teenage kids
doing a runner, ding dong run.
All the astronauts like damn you, and there's like SpaceX smeared on the windows.
Oh no, I still even though I'm old, I've reading that stuff forever. That was one where you pull the blanket, make sure your feet aren't hanging out from the blanket just in case the alien grabs them, and you just lie there and go, oh, that's so cool. I love that stuff.
But yeah, no, like because it was. I don't watch Joe Rogan much, but one of the ones I did watch with him was he interviewed a Navy pilot.
Yep, talk about the Tic Tac.
Yeah. And he was saying like, it's just sitting there. Like I know what I'm doing here, and I've seen it come up on this heat map, and there it is, and it's just like doing these like loops around us.
Yeah, and the Navy said that was real.
Yeah. So. Yeah,
that's cool. Anyway, we went way off video games. Cool. We got one more comment just popped up. What did it say?
Oh yeah, this scroll is broken.
We've got comment moderator. There's some sort of it's gone outside the green screen. Probably was, but I wanted to be. I'm going to get a Mulder post. I want to believe. But like I said, conspiracy theories used to be fun. They used to fill a hole in your life for excitement. That now conspiracy theories are boring because I mean, if you're going to go, well, did you know? Big news. Did you know a politician's corrupt? I'll go, wow, is he the first one?
Has this happened before?
Oh, amazing. Get back to the aliens.
Yeah. it's like please. I'll put it to you, if you were to say, one of the largest grassroots movements that mobilizes young men and alleged pedophiles against the larger popular culture is controlled by the DoD, people would go, oh wow, that's really. You said it to me, I'm just like, yeah, makes sense. Like, because this is the same government that gives you CIA and gives you all these other.
I said one thing the other day: if the Antifa wanted to stop fascism, they should be going for CIA. That's where it comes from.
I think again. I would argue
games again.
I would argue half the time that something burns down, it's handy CIA operatives. I mean, you put up that thing about Fred Hampton the other day. You want to go full down that rabbit hole. Hoover in the '60s probably set back America more than.
I grew up with George Carlin when he did the thing. Everyone says that there's actually be nice to each other. Bam, right in the fucking head. Yeah. That look up for that one. That was great. Andrew, he's still on there. He's chatting. He will know exactly what I'm talking about there as well. If it's George Carlin,
the rocket guy. Have you seen that? And he goes,
yeah.
It just ends the thing. Interesting. End.
I'm sure the flat Earth stuff is mostly a troll.
Yeah.
Because they tweet stuff like we have offices all around the globe. They responded to Elon Musk, the official Twitter account, and said something about if Earth is flat, why is Mars round? And they said, well, because you can observe Mars is round, so therefore. So and it's just it's not so much as it's to me it just smells like. If you wanted to prove a theory that people will believe anything, right? Yeah. Then if you were trying to prove it by convincing people that other people will believe anything, it's got one. It's like a 5D chess troll, right? Then they've succeeded because everybody's convinced there's flat earthers everywhere. I'm not convinced there are. There may be some, because there's always idiots.
There's always idiots, yeah.
But I'm not convinced that Flat Earth is much more than a troll, a long-term troll by some people who are just trying to prove that people will actually believe anything. And the actual anything they'll believe is that other people believe the Earth's flat.
Yeah.
And that sort of went around in circles. But
well, I mean, the
5D chess troll.
The flip side of that has always been that the American government would love you to think that it did 9/11, that it was capable of pulling off something like that, because then you might be a bit more scared of it. Do you know what I mean? Like... I've seen New Zealand and the maps without New Zealand. New Zealand doesn't exist.
Australia doesn't exist. Look, see, the Australia doesn't exist. That smelled to me like YouTube fodder, because all the YouTubers want it, and then they're all talking about each other's videos on it, and it just seemed to me like one of those things that YouTubers use each other for publicity
all the time.
It just looked a little bit like that to me, because it was popping up everywhere.
We've been an hour. We should wrap.
An hour, holy moly. Okay, cool. Well, I've run out of gaming news because we had like about 30 seconds ago. This time, Sonic's back. That's all I care about. All right, anything coming up? There's some. Is there a tournament?
Game of the Year should be up in the next week or so.
Really?
Fighting game tournament.
Jeez, I wonder what won.
Yeah.
I wonder. It's going to be a mystery.
Fighting game tournament next week is the big Cash Royce
I
finale.
can't imagine how many really good AAA games have there been this year.
Yeah, I know,
Well, as
right?
far as I'm concerned, none.
Yeah. But I mean, like our list is decidedly weeby as always. You know what I mean? Like there's definite weeb element in our list, but
It's going to be such a surprise.
Yeah. But yeah, then Couch Royce finale is next week, and then so that's on the 12th and 13th. So make sure you watch that. And then after that, it's basically there'll be some big news about the show coming up. So make sure you watch the episodes for the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, cool.
And then there's not much more to really add on.
And then we're coming up to Christmas soon, and it won't be too long before we can tell this year to get fucked. Go to 2021.
So we'll be putting out the voter the viewer
Dear 2020,
game
fuck
of the year,
right off.
the viewer game of the year stuff out soon, and there'll be chances for you to win shirts and games and cool stuff. So we'll make sure we put that out ASAP.
Oh, cool.
So-
well, you know what I'm voting for. Yep.
Deus Ex, I got it. On that note, let's wrap it up, I think.
Yeah, cool. We're done. NewGamePlus.tv for everything. The website, NewGamePlus.tv. Shop.NewGamePlus.tv. First 10 people to go there and message me. Logged in. Don't go in as guest. And from Australia for shipping reasons, not because but and message us with your size. I'll send you something for free for Christmas if you do it straight away. What else we got? None of the other sites are really live. Travel will be back next year, but NewGamePlus.tv. Check out the show on Monday night if you're in Melbourne.
Mondays at 10:30.
That's it.
And then Adelaide at Fridays 9:30.
Oh yeah, Adelaide still exists.
Yes.
Yeah, they tried, but anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
All right, GG. Thank you. Bye bye.
bye, Luke.